Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense, baby. Happy
Nice,
Friday. October now.
Yeah.
We've broken the seal on October. It's October 4th, 2024. All of the
Congrats,
comments
dude. I didn't
on
think
the
we'd
recent
make it.
episodes coming out are... This is from February? What?
Hey, dude. My rationale now, because I'm turning into Peter Thiel. I don't know if you knew that, but he's basically like every good business has a secret, and I think right now we have a secret. Granted, most people are gonna be like, "Fucking stupid secret. We're not gonna do it," but like, I can rationalize this 6-month buffer by we have a really good idea and we want a little head start in case any of our 200 listeners is really ambitious. Want to come out?
I just watched a video called Why Smart People Believe Stupid Things.
Nah.
And example number one is smart people are really good at rationalizing
Yeah.
things happening in their lives. They're really good at
Yeah.
reasoning. So they are good at rationalizing the wrong thing.
Well,
But
some
neither
of the
here nor there.
relationship stuff, that definitely is better on a time delay because usually we're broken up by the time it gets out.
You got the gunk too, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, my body's never fully recovered because it just wants like 3 days of rest, but I just play 3 games of sports every night, so it's literally like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know if anyone knew, but I'm an athlete. I got
Yeah, what kind of threads you got? I got.
What is it? I got loyalties. I wish I had royalties.
I got.
I'm done. Easy stutter step. I might end up buying Dirt.com, dude. I'm in fierce negotiations right now. But Dirt spelled like nerd.
I've never told one person to go to Dirt.com. The one we already own. Dude, I don't know what kind of mood I'm in. We're shooting 3 hours earlier than normal. Oh boy.
No.
Dirt.com, please no. It's $12,000.
Well, I really like 12,500. I really like how
your bank's overdrafting, my bank's overdrafting.
Oh yeah,
And he wants another domain name.
I know, but Dirt, you can spell it 2 ways, and also the @Dirt Twitter handle is available, and @Dirt spelled with the E Instagram handle as well.
Why don't you grab those? Because that's free. Like, you should probably just grab those.
Yeah. I found it last night, so maybe I will. Well, here's the thing.
Does Mickey Mouse have a Twitter handle?
No, but
or SpongeBob?
We'll get into it on our app call later today, but the app might just be called Dirt.
Oh,
so because he's everything.
The completely non-descriptive app name. That's all right though.
But you can have like subtitles and stuff, like Dirt.
Right.
Best way to learn.
Yeah. So Mickey Mouse and SpongeBob don't have a Twitter handle, but I like it.
I'm saying, dude,
what you're doing.
Park and don't hurt. It don't hurt. That's not what I'm here for, though. I just wanted to give you advance warning. What I literally don't have the funds to do it, so there's no stress there. I'm really into games right now. I'm a game designer. I don't know if you get that update in my LinkedIn, but
it's a new job. Actually, you have a presentation for the CEO of Clippedia LLC in about an hour.
Yeah, kind of nervous. I'm a firm believer. I think haven't had any I don't know if they're necessarily big unlocks, just like tiny little ones that make the game a lot more elegant in my mind, and I like that a lot. So I've been going down this rabbit hole of elegant game designs because I'm just a huge fan. Um, and last night, the game du jour was Rocket League. I really like Rocket
Oh,
League.
I've never
Uh,
played Rocket League. It's like soccer,
really,
right?
soccer, but cars.
With cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Um,
gonna I'm just gonna roll some B-roll here for the folks at home.
you're gonna, yeah.
There's some B-roll
I
for
mean,
Rocket League.
honestly, I think you're probably in like the minority of our audience that doesn't know what Rocket League is.
No, I know. I know that. I know it's a big deal.
Um, yeah, Koi would go to like tournaments and stuff. I think he'd like commentate tournaments. Koi's one of our
So it's
oldest
soccer.
editors.
It's a giant soccer ball, and the players are cars.
Yes, and
Nice.
they can get boosts so they can fly through the air, and it's like 3D. It's like you're in a cage, a giant cage. So I'm like, one, this is fucking a tapped idea. Like, it's crazy. Like, who even comes up with this? So I wanted to get a little bit of the history of that. But then, like, once you have the idea, the game is so simple. Like, even like a Fortnite, it's kind of complicated where you gotta like change up the maps and stuff. And like, I don't know, Rocket League is just like they invented a sport and they own the sport.
Wasn't
And
there
they don't
a
have to change anything.
wasn't there a Mario or like Super Mario Brothers car soccer game from like a Mario Kart,
No
sorry.
idea.
Hmm.
Could be.
I think there was
Maybe.
like a precursor to Rocket League.
Huh. Well,
Didn't get that
let
far
me
in your
give you this
research.
guy's little history because it's kind of nice. I don't know if he came for a history lesson, but his name, I think it's Dave Hagewood. Hagewood, I want to say. I could confirm it, but I don't really care enough. Uh, he he was working. I think it was like Epic Games or something. He was working at like some big studio, and then he broke off to do his own thing. And uh, he basically came to be kind of like us making like really high quality games for other people, like out, so they can outsource it. So he made like an agency sort of model like that. But he couldn't recruit really good people, so he just got like a bunch of free interns. And then he had so many of these free interns basically that like he's like, hey, there's this little project I want to work on. Uh, I really like how this game dynamic. I forget the game. It was like something where like cars could like jump in the air. He's like, I like this game dynamic. Can we play around with this? And then he had like all his best people working on like the thing that actually makes money, but he just had these rogue interns like going and making little indie games. And then they like started combining like soccer, and then like they had all these like little emergent designs pop up of like, oh wait, if we add boosts, we can suddenly fucking fly through the air and then like bicycle kick these balls in, and it's super fun. They just literally designed the perfect game for themselves. And he's like, dude, I've worked in the game industry my whole life. I've never been as addicted to a game as this one, like his own game. It's just like a complete scratch your own itch thing where he's like, dude, we're all just playing all day long, and we're like, this is gonna be a hit. Um, and it just wasn't like super viral. It was like a mega hit within the people that used it, but it wouldn't spread because I don't know, it was like a little clunky or something. So finally, fucking storytelling. Finally, he has like his super, like the Unreal Engine is like this like super nice. I don't know, it's like 3D, like it's what Fortnite
Render
uses.
software,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so he had all his like pros, like best of the best people. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna take this risk of like, we're not gonna make money. We're not gonna do any projects. We're gonna bring all those people on this game that we're all addicted to, and see if we can crack it out, and make it actually pop off. The scary thing though, he was saying is like one super business risk because like fucking we're losing all these contracts. We don't have money coming in, and then they don't really know why it's not popping off. They're like, we love it, but like the rest of the world like doesn't yet, and we don't know
How
why.
are they marketing it?
Uh,
Like it just goes on Steam or something?
yeah, I think it's like a lot of
Like I
like
don't know,
he,
like
he
how
said
do
he's like he said I don't know marketing. Like he didn't know marketing. They're just like the
right.
product's not good enough. Like if it's good enough, it'll market itself. So like something was off. They just couldn't figure out what because they have this little cage and they're all playing. So like they were thinking of ideas like, oh, maybe we gotta like make it like you can drive the car in between different stadiums in this world or something. But then they're like, dude, we don't get the budget for that. He's like, all right, I guess we're gonna stick to our one stadium. Like, what if we just fucking polished everything up, just like just took the game as is and just like made it just just
Look
nicer.
and
Like
feel better, and
they literally did like no innovations other than just making like a little bit of the physics be smoother and like it just looking prettier. And I think they had
which
a
is
couple
kind of
little tweaks.
counterintuitive, right? Because I think like in business or in startups, when you're thinking about the MVP, we often think like you should make something that's rough around the edges, has some bugs, get it out as fast as possible,
Oh,
and people will still use it regardless. But here it sounds like the premise, like the mechanics of the game were the same, but they made the design or packaging a little bit better. So maybe
it
it's
was
different
like
in gaming.
it it was like this little clunkiness in the physics of like your car not quite flying quite right makes it just annoying enough because that's
Mm.
the entire dynamic of the game. Where like once they had the pros come and smooth everything out, it was just amazing. But one thing I forgot is he said this weird like cold start problem of the early adopters. They got the game and they got really good at it, and then anyone that like they didn't have enough people joining the game, like say you come into this game, there's like 100 other people playing, they're all really nasty at the game, but there's this weird learning curve, so you'd come in and like didn't have enough new users coming in, so you just play the fucking veteran beast and you just get your shit punched in, and they're like, well, we need like a lot of new people, but we don't know how to get a lot of new people at once, so they just never could cross that threshold until they polished it up and enough new users came in.
They didn't like use bots, or because like Fortnite uses bots to fill
The
lobbies,
bots were
kind of for that.
super bad back then. I don't know. They might
Mm.
have like fixed it. Yeah, bots. That is an interesting. Oh, I never thought about that. They put bots in the. Let me think. There's more to this story somewhere. Maybe not. I don't know. I was on something and then I thought about bots.
I have a couple
But
questions. I have a couple questions. When was this happening? Is this like 2010 or is this like 2020 or
it's like
2002?
10 years ago. It was
10
like
years ago?
yeah. Uh oh, what was kind of cool is like he was saying uh he didn't really care about money. Like he's like, dude, we're just gonna make the game free, get as many people on it, and we'll just figure out the money later. So he made
I've
it
heard
free
that
on
story before.
PS3. Yeah. Um, PS3 was free. Steam they charged, and he was like, ah, fuck. Like now that it's like it blew up so much on PS3 that he's like, everyone had it downloaded, and he's like, literally, we can't charge for it because it's already on everyone's PS3. Like there aren't enough new users to like make money.
Right.
He like
So
he already took it
so
away.
how do they make money?
They'll have like in-game, like
Oh,
skins and
licensing and
stuff for your
stuff and
cars and stuff, and all the classic stuff. But I just loved how simple the game is, and he just like cracked it. And it's like, hey, it's fucking rocket cars. And also, he was like, dude, before it popped off, it was super annoying to describe this game to anybody because they all thought I was a lunatic. It's like, yeah, it's
yeah.
soccer, but you're a car. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, well, unless you play it, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And the cars can fly. Um, it's just weird because yeah, he would be a psycho until it pops off, and maybe it never pops off because he never has like the funds to polish it or whatever it might be. So that
Dude,
was
great
cool.
great show
Uh,
and tell.
I didn't mean to really turn into a show and tell. I had one more because I was going down the game designer rabbit hole. There's this really good Gouda channel, really good channel. It's like game designer toolkit, I think something like that. Um, and they had an episode about how game designers solve problems. Like I guess I didn't really appreciate game design in like you're I guess it's in the word, but like you're creating a game. you, you you're just like giving the framework. It's like making the app store. You're not actually making any apps. You're just making like the infrastructure on which like people can create their own crazy imagine or like Like he didn't anticipate people like flying to the ceiling with the cars. He just put boosts in the game, and all of a sudden they're flying, which
Right. You
is
can't
I
quite
never thought about that
predict
dynamic.
gameplay and stuff.
Yeah, and so your job is to
Dude,
make
that's
the
like in.
rules of the game and the physics of it.
I bet what I tell you, I bet because I played a lot of NHL growing up, PS3, NHL hockey.
Mm.
Uh, there is no way in hell the designers of that game knew how deadly I would be with the one timer glitch. Fuck from outside, pass it one time every single time in the goal,
Mm.
every single time.
Nice,
I don't know if
dude.
that proves or
One
disproves
timers
your
are really
point,
hard
but
in real life, so it checks out why those would go in. They're really hard.
well,
I almost had a nice one last night.
they never patched
Um,
that.
they did in the real world because he stopped mine. So yeah, I just didn't appreciate like it's really cool. Just like you can tweak all these things in different ways. So say like for example, there was they had a bunch of little ones. Let me they had a problem of like in this one game, um I forget the game, but there was like a reload dynamic, where when you're reloading, there's like a slider bar that comes across, and if you stop it in the right point, your guy will reload faster. Uh, but like most beginners aren't good enough to do this whole thing, so they just like wait for it to like go to the end and just always flop. Versus the good people just stop it right on the dot, and then just like the good people get better and the bad people get worse. So there's like a weird dynamic like that. Um, and so they ended up just like making it so well that would mean like also sorry I wasn't prepared for this, but like bad players also just like shoot until their gun runs out and then they just like reload, versus good players will like shoot and then if they have a couple bullets left they'll still reload just so they always have a full clip. um
Right.
so people just end up getting like really fucked. That's just a super advantage for the best. So they ended up like their tweak, which I wouldn't have thought about, is the last couple bullets in the clip are more powerful than the others. So like
Oh. I thought you were going
so
to say
then
like one thing that happens when you get to the last like 5 bullets is your gun starts to make a different sound, like it's going to run
hmm,
out to maybe try and remind you like reload.
yeah.
But that's another
No.
interesting fix where they make them more powerful.
It's like only the beginners get to the last bullet in the clip, so let's make those stronger so that at least they have a
It's a
fighting
one
chance.
shot. The last bullet in the clip's a one shot anywhere on the
Yeah.
body.
It's just so weird. Like, yeah, just don't tell anybody this, and like, it's
Right.
fine. Like, if you start telling people, they'd probably get upset. I don't know how they found out, but so there, it was just like a dozen of these like really like counterintuitive problem solves. One that I liked was this I forget the game again, but it was like a space game or something. You're on like a planet, and there's like some evil aliens, and like they didn't have enough aliens in the game. Like they wanted more variety, but their team was already at capacity. Like they didn't have enough like designers and developers and like animators and stuff to make another monster. So they're like, "Fuck, we need a monster, but we can't make one. So what do we do? Let's just call it Invisible Monster. You can't see him, dude, but he can like throw objects at you once in a while." So they didn't have to design the actual monster, like render him at all.
Yeah.
It was just the simplest thing. Like they just have objects interact, and like that's enough. And they ended up calling it like the poltergeist, and it's like the favorite monster in the game now. It's like, oh, we just didn't have the resources, and it's the best
I'm not
character.
I'm not super on my toes at the moment, quick wit
Oh,
wise, but like I love we know about a lot of those examples in business where
mm-hmm.
it's like this thing wasn't working, we didn't have the resources to patch it, so we just did this super scrappy dumb thing instead. It's also like the midwit meme.
Yeah.
And I love that they're doing the exact same thing in game design. And we do that stuff well, yeah. Um
We
just
try
like
to. It's hard. Like unless you're
no,
literally
like you're
constrained, like we literally don't have
so
more people.
okay, here's an example. Is like
Yeah.
you were pissed for a long time early on in the clipped agency days because we didn't know when editors were editing and what they were working on and when their ETA would be for a video. And so like we could have gone and designed this elaborate Slack plugin or had somebody do it or gone and tied some APIs together so people could update their things. But instead you just implemented like editor, whenever you're giving updates, you have 10 gray emoji blocks, like emojis from the keyboard. Copy and paste as many green blocks into that bar of 10 as you are through the video. So if you're 60% of the way through, it's 6 green squares, 4 gray squares.
Right.
And that's like our client's favorite thing.
Right. It might be my
clients
legacy.
Say all the time. It is
the only good thing I did for Clips.
It is. Every new client when we start doing that is like, I love this green block thing. And then they ask other editors will ask like, how do I send those to clients? And we're like, copy and paste. It's emojis.
Right. It's supposed to be dummy proof. Yeah, that's what I love too. And plus that's like, it's not just applicable to video editing. It's like any project you work on. It's just like, here's a status bar that's super like ad hoc, but fucking works. It's just copy paste. So same thing. It's just, it gets me really juiced. I don't know, like I wasn't like game design meant nothing to me, but now I realize it's like basically behavioral economics just manifested in something everyone works on. And I'm like, God damn, like you can just create like the same way with the cartoon, we're creating a world. Like this is even more fun because we're creating like the framework for a world that then people like develop themselves and build on top of. So like we just lay the groundwork, which is my favorite because I think we're good at that. But I don't want to do like all the building. I want to just like let the ecosystem figure out all this cool stuff themselves.
Incredible.
So is that my last point on game design? Probably for now. I mean, I'm super deep in it.
Game designer.
Yeah. What's cool too, because like discovering this channel, it's so good.
Personal life? Personal life.
Yeah, updates? I got one for you. Well, dude, I've been talking this whole pod. You got something or?
No.
All right, took too long. God, comes the CEO. This is the thing we want to work on as a pod. Well, we had an episode now that they're all dropping.
Dude, we've held the answer to the pod, to making this pod successful for so long. It's still there. It's in our little back pocket.
Well,
and it's coming.
No, it's like game design, dude. I just have fun cracking the code, and I don't want to do the work consistently over time to like compound off of that. Here's the framework, someone to use it. I don't really
anti-compounder. Give me your thread.
Well, this is so pods are coming out, which means they're in people's feeds, and one of the people's feeds that this is coming up in is my mom. And she listened to a recent episode. She's just been texting me. Like, she'll just watch like my episodes on the big TV. It's like giant TV in the living room. So she's like, oh my God, laughing out loud at these podcasts. I'm like, nice. And she's like, let's talk on the phone. So I call her on the phone, and the first thing out her mouth is like, hey, Dylan, what was the result of the Asperger's test? Like, first thing out your mouth? Like, just been eating her alive. She's like, how'd you do? Because I know you got the gunk. The proof. Yeah, I think we might have mentioned in the episode.
And what'd you tell her? You were normal.
Well, I don't trust the test.
Is that what you told her? I was normal, but I don't trust the test.
Yeah, it's like
that's not.
What the fuck does that mean?
That doesn't really.
Right. If it was like
still
you got
confidence.
Asperger's. All right. No. Here's the thing. My mom wants me to have Asperger's.
I know.
Like she needs the excuse for why I'm fucking weird. Around her at least. Probably more generally. So it's literally like, where's the confirmation bias? I need it, and it's the first thing on her mouth. I'm like, what about the other podcast? Like we did a lot.
At least she started with a positive reinforcement. Well, that was over text.
Positive? Gaslighting me into having Asperger's?
The positive was laughing out loud. These are so funny.
Yeah, at me having Asperger's. That was what she was laughing out loud. Yeah.
Oopsie
Yeah.
daisies.
But fucking
Hopefully
maybe
she
I'll
heard
take a
about
look.
her iPad, her iPhone 15 Plus
Yeah, I'm
too.
not sure she got there yet. Um,
Any other
Let me
personal
see if
life
I.
updates?
Um,
Because there will probably come a day when this podcast doesn't. Well, I don't think you're going to be able to contain yourself, but I think there might become a day when there's no personal life updates on the pod.
uh,
You'll still probably share them.
I mean, walking in right before this podcast, I saw a really hot chick, and I didn't say anything, and it's been eating me alive. Like
There he is.
fucking, it's. Dude. It's just free lottery tickets, and I'm just not picking them up. Uh, is this fun? Do I have anything funny? Conceal carry. I wrote down.
Oh,
I forget what that was about.
oh,
No,
you
that's
got
just.
offered. You got offered
Oh well,
some coaching or something.
I didn't get offered, dude. I'm training to
Your
be a Navy
life,
SEAL.
dude. Your life is so strange.
It's yeah. Um, I got interest, dude, and one of my interests is the manliest of manly things, which is being a Navy SEAL, and just killing bad guys, dude. Doesn't get any more manly
Okay.
than that. Um, and one of these Navy SEAL, he was actually I think he was a Delta guy, which is like the Army version of the Navy SEALs. Um, he was called the Sheriff of Baghdad. Fucking savage, dude. Sean Ryan just had him on his podcast. It's a really good podcast, by the way, if you're into Navy SEAL stuff. But dude, he was like,
It's like
he's like
my bad.
fucking. They called him Shrek McPhee. He's just this massive ogre of a dude, and they're like, dude's fucking out of his mind. But if you need on command a fucking killer war machine, you go and you break the glass and take out John Shrek McPhee, and he's just like, dude, he's
Let me
he's
guess.
like, dude,
You
yeah,
emailed him? You DM'd him?
no. This isn't like I didn't manifest this hard.
This is Prelude? Okay.
This is just prelude. No, I should probably though. He's just like he killed fucking crazy, like he would like, dude. So one, he was like in all the battles, he killed like a crazy amount of people. He's like, dude, I don't even know how many. It's just fucking, we just slaughtered all of them. And he calls all the like Iraqis or Afghanis, calls them savages too. So it's kind of funny. It's like an old person from the Korean War calling racist slurs to everybody. It's like fucking savages.
Right.
But yeah, he said like Afghanistan. Dude, I'm just hitting you with tangents everywhere. Afghanistan was like the terrain was like a 10 out of 10 hard, but like savages were like 1 out of 10 hard. He was just like shooting fish in a barrel out there. So crazy man, and he'd go on all these solo missions.
I was thinking about the fish in a
my
barrel
idiom?
thing. Yeah.
Shooting savages in the mountain.
No, like fish in a barrel, like I guess they don't have anywhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
So
You never heard that? Huh.
Just checking. Just
You
in the
get a
background.
tick
Just
for
checking.
not knowing that one. But he would go on these solo missions because he was a fucking maniac, and they'd be like, "Hey, we got to go scout this like Taliban stronghold way out here, like 100 miles away, and we have no way of getting there because we just have like giant Humbers, and they're gonna see us coming." So he would like dress up in like Afghan garb, or he was in Iraq too, Iraqi garb, and like he'd have a taxi, just like a local taxi. And so he'd just go around driving in the taxi, and like he'd either
Up
like
to the
drive himself or
stronghold?
sometimes he just
Basically
and
unprotected, alone,
he'd have like a gun under some like clothing and stuff, but he'd go to
concealed.
like
That's
checkpoints
crazy.
just all on his own, dude. He was
See,
just
you
going out. He
couldn't
did
handle
like
that.
hundreds of
That's
these
where, like,
missions.
I know you like this niche. You wouldn't last a day
No,
as a
no.
Navy
Well,
SEAL.
here's where I think I could be good, because they're like, dude, how you don't speak the language? You're like a 6'5", like fucking inbred white dude. Like, how are you pulling this off? He's like, one, they had some like the Russians came in, and I don't know, Chechens or something. They all kind of like
Don't
they
ask
don't
me.
look as different as you'd think. And then you just wrap your head up. So you kind of like, you got a big beard. So you kind of blended in. But when they'd get to checkpoints and stuff, when you got to go through, he'd just be in, say, the back of the taxi if someone's driving him. And they'd go and like ask him questions. It's like, okay, you're in that situation. It's like life or death. They have a gun to your head, literally like an AK to you. Like, who the fuck are you? He would just go like, sorry, dude. Sorry. I didn't know if I should have acted that one out, but I did. He would go like full Tropic Thunder, like full retard. That's just like how he survived.
He just acted dumb.
Doing these hundreds of he just played like he was dumb.
Wow.
Because they would like, he's like, dude, they'd have like retarded people or whatever you call them. They just like chain them to trees outside, and so that they like didn't give a like, they just want to stay the fuck away from all of them. But they were like, there were a lot of them. So he's just like, yeah.
I think you sent me a
I was
clip
like
of
the
this
best spy. Yeah, he's a fucking beast.
That was Shrek.
So
okay.
The point is, he's like one of the best war fighters of all time, and he just has these like pistol and rifle classes that you can sign up for. They're largely sold out because he's a beast. But I was really tempted to go out to like
that's what
West
he's
Virginia
doing now,
and do one of them. But then I realized I'd have to get a gun, and then I'd have to own a gun, and I'm like, dude, if I'm talking to stickers all day and I have a gun, like, dude, you don't want that, man, to be armed. So I
dude,
didn't do it.
So much prelude for I was considering going to this guy's trip, conceal carry training in West Virginia.
But he's such a badass, dude. You should look into him if you're in.
I won't. That's not a niche for me. But
no, I saw your niche earlier. Your niche is hot chicks playing piano. That's what your niche is, dude.
Go!
Fuck.